Hello, my gangsters. Joseph Roaster here. Now bringing you the review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, Episode 20. And man, what an episode! A lot of stuff happened here. A lot of important stuff. Well, we are now in the halfway point of the anime, it seems. The last time we saw the gang, Mista and Giorno were fighting against Kiyakyo, and the rest of the gang were just waiting on the boat. Now that they have picked up the disc, the boss gave them an instruction to be in the island of San Giorgio Maggiore within 15 minutes of picking up the disc. At that, it looks like the boss's hideout is in San Giorgio Maggiore, and the gang is all happy to finish the mission. They had even suggested that they stayed in Venice for a few days, try some of that squid ink pasta, which is that reference to part 2? Even though Joseph ate spaghetti nero di sepia in Rome, it doesn't matter, it's still a cool reference. The next instruction that the boss gave them was that only one bodyguard was to accompany Trish to the island, to the boss's hideout, and because San Giorgio has a big tower, only one guy was allowed to be in the elevator with Trish, and the others were not to set foot on the island, because I feel like the boss would have felt threatened if all of them stepped off the island, and 6 people, the 6 can easily overpower one guy, at least from the boss's point of view. Bruno and Trish go together, and Giorno suggested that he goes with Trish instead of Bruno, and Abacus like, "Oh, Giorno, you really pissed me off. It's supposed to be Bruno because Bruno is the capo," and blah blah blah. And Giorno's like, "Well, I just wanted some protagonist, so can't have it all, Giorno. I'm sorry. You can't have it all." This episode focuses a lot on Bruno and his backstory. Before we get into that, when Trish and Bruno get in the elevator, Trish disappears and only her hand is remaining, and that's when the boss's true intentions were revealed. He didn't plan on saving his daughter. He planned on finishing her of himself in order to not have any vulnerabilities within the gang, and he also wanted to finish himself off to show that to not show it to the rest of to Passione, so that the gang members do not think that because of Trish's death he got soft and weak. after that elevator scene, Bruno says, "What is going on?" And then it cuts to a commercial break, and then we go into Bruno's backstory. Okay, so his backstory is heavily tied into his motivations on why he wants to take out his drug business. So, in order to summarize his story, his father was a fisherman, and they lived together. The father, the mother, and Bruno. But when he was 7, Bocaletti's parents had divorced for an unknown reason, and that's tough since my parents got divorced at the age of 6, so I was close to Bruno's age when his parents divorced, and I know how hard they can be on a child, and that really adds up to Bruno's character development over all, I think. He's basically like Jotaro, because his father had also left the two to tour around with his jazz band. And I'm getting too off topic here. So I was saying, at the age of 7, Bruno's parents had divorced for an unknown reason, and they made Bruno choose whether to live with his mom or to live with his dad. Bucaletti chose to live with his dad because he knew his mother was strong enough to make it on her own, and he didn't want to sadden his father and make him go into a depression. And it was the best thing to do, because the mother she later found a husband and remarried, and I assume she had a wonderful life from later on. But I wonder how things would have changed if Bruno decided to live with his mother, because of Bruno's father, he wanted to send him to a good school in order to pay for his tuition. He took to giving tours to tourists and other fishermen along his boat, and he did kind of well, but everything changed once two sketchy people wanted to take a boat ride to a certain island, which is certainly not the best place for fishing. So and that was suspicious. And the next thing we learned is that the father got shot 7 times because he witnessed the drug deal, and that's when we learned why Bruno is against drugs. But luckily his father survives. The two people, they came back because they knew that Mr. Bucaletti was a witness to their crime of drug dealing. They went to take him out, but Bucaletti was there and hiding, and he caught the two people up. It was very gruesome. It was way too gruesome for somebody his age, the age of 12. Brogo, he didn't know what to do. So he went to Passione in order to seek protection from them, and they would do that in exchange for some services, some work in the mafia business, and that went pretty well with him until the father died due to wound complications. And one time when Bruno was beating a guy up because he was bothering a family, he noticed something, a white bag, and he knew that they were drugs. So he was very shocked, and his heart was broken to know that Passione, the whole organization he thought he could trust, who did so well by the Bucaletti family, was in the drug trading business as well, and that's when his distaste for Passione began. So after that, we go back to present time. Mag and Bruno's on the chase for the boss who took Trish and went down the basement of the church. And when they get to the bottom of the church and they have their confrontation, Bruno expresses how disappointed he is, and that Passione broke his heart again after learning about the drug trading business that they are in, and then his heart has been broken twice by the same organization, by the organization who took him in and protected his father. To paraphrase a quote by Bucaletti, he said when Trish wakes up, I'm going to convince her that that her father doesn't exist, and that's because he wants to protect her from the knowledge that his father is a cold-blooded person and just wanted to kill Trish in order for her not to be bothered. And I'm sorry about the background noise. My brother can get a little crazy, and I believe he's being possessed by a demon. So in a while, I'm gonna perform an exorcism on him. But back on topic. So there's a confrontation with Bruno and the boss, and it all seems to be going pretty still until Bruno is notified by Giorno that he was hiding beneath a pillar, and he punched and he zipped away the pillar. He broke it apart, and what he saw was himself. was actually a projection of him 10 seconds in the future, and then we get the revelation of King Crimson, and man, was he a Chad in the anime. He has more chin than he does have in the manga, so I was a little surprised to see that. But anyway, so that happened, and King Crimson said this is you in 10 seconds of the future. I give this to you as a parting gift, and your mission to protect my daughter is already over. And he punches a hole through Buccareti's stomach, and that's how it ends. So that was pretty sad to see our couple go like that. And my thoughts was the voice acting, it was excellent as always. The soundtrack for this episode, I liked it a lot, especially for the scene that they go into the church and they have to get into the elevator. Yeah, and if I have some other thoughts, I'll put a post-recording thoughts, but so far that is pretty much it. A pretty excellent episode. So the next week we are gonna get episode 21, which is the mystery of King Crimson and how it works. But then after that we'll get a recap episode 21.5, and I believe that is confirmed in Twitter by Vento Aureo account, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm mostly sure that will happen. But again, I'll not notify you if that is true. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 20 and are looking forward to the next episode, and to see how the mystery of King Crimson unfolds. But until then, guys, I'll see you all in my next video. You take care, you beautiful people.